Constitutional monarchy, World War II and Cold War. Thailand in World War II and History of Thailand, 1932 to 1973. A bloodless revolution took place in 1932, in which Prajadhipok was forced to grant the country's first constitution, thereby ending centuries of feudal and absolute monarchy. The combined results of economic hardships brought on by the Great Depression, sharply falling rice prices, and a significant reduction in public spending caused discontent among aristocrats. In 1933, a counter-revolutionary rebellion occurred which aimed to reinstate absolute monarchy, but failed. Prajadhipok's conflict with the government eventually led to abdication. The government selected Ananda Mahadol, who was studying in Switzerland, to be the new king. Later that decade, the army wing of Khana Ratsadon came to dominate Siamese politics. Plek Phibun Songkhram, who became premier in 1938, started political oppression and took an openly anti-royalist stance. His government adopted nationalism and westernization, anti-Chinese and anti-French policies. In 1939, there was a decree changing the name of the country from Siam to Thailand. In 1941, Thailand was in a brief conflict with Vichy France, resulting in Thailand gaining some Lao and Cambodian territories. On December 8, 1941, the Empire of Japan launched an invasion of Thailand, and fighting broke out shortly before Phibun ordered an armistice. Japan was granted free passage, and on December 21, Thailand and Japan signed a military alliance with a secret protocol, wherein the Japanese government agreed to help Thailand regain lost territories. The Thai government declared war on the United States and the United Kingdom. The Free Thai movement was launched both in Thailand and abroad to oppose the government and Japanese occupation. After the war ended in 1945, Thailand signed formal agreements to end the state of war with the Allies. The main Allied powers had ignored Thailand's declaration of war. In June 1946, young King Ananda was found dead under mysterious circumstances. His younger brother Bhumibol Adulyadej ascended to the throne. Thailand joined the Southeast Asia Treaty Organization, SEATO, to become an active ally of the United States in 1954. Field Marshal Sarit Thanarat launched a coup in 1957, which removed Khana Ratsadon from politics. His rule, premiership 1959 to 1963, was autocratic. He built his legitimacy around the godlike status of the monarch and by channeling the government's loyalty to the king. His government improved the country's infrastructure and education. After the United States joined the Vietnam War in 1961, there was a secret agreement wherein the U.S. promised to protect Thailand. The period brought about increasing modernization and westernization of Thai society. Rapid urbanization occurred when the rural populace sought work in growing cities. Rural farmers gained class consciousness and were sympathetic to the Communist Party of Thailand. Economic development and education enabled the rise of a middle class in Bangkok and other cities. In October 1971, there was a large demonstration against the dictatorship of the Nam Kitakakorn, premiership 1963 to 1973, which led to civilian casualties. Bhumibol installed Sanya Dharmasakti, premiership 1973 to 1975, to replace him, marking the first time that the king had intervened in Thai politics directly since 1932. The aftermath of the event marked a short-lived parliamentary democracy, often called the era when democracy blossomed. Contemporary history. History of Thailand, 1973 to 2001, and History of Thailand, 2001 present. South Thailand insurgency. constant unrest and instability, as well as fear of a communist takeover after the fall of Saigon, made some ultra-right groups brand leftist students as communists. This culminated in the Thammasat University massacre in October 1976. A coup d'état on that day brought Thailand a new ultra-right government, which cracked down on media outlets, officials, and intellectuals, and fueled the communist insurgency. Another coup the following year installed a more moderate government, which offered amnesty to communist fighters in 1978. Fueled by Indochina refugee crisis, Vietnamese border raids and economic hardships, Prem Tinsulananda became the prime minister from 1980 to 1988. The communists abandoned the insurgency by 1983. Prem's premiership was dubbed semi-democracy because the parliament was composed of all elected House and all appointed Senate. The 1980s also saw increasing intervention in politics by the monarch, who rendered two coups in 1981 and 1985 attempts against Prem failed. In 1988, Thailand had its first elected prime minister since 1976. Suchinda Krupayan, who was the coup leader in 1991 and said he would not seek to become prime minister, was nominated as one by the majority coalition government after the 1992 general election. This caused a popular demonstration in Bangkok, which ended with a bloody military crackdown. Bhumibol intervened in the event and signed an amnesty law. Suchinda then resigned. The 1997 Asian financial crisis originated in Thailand and ended the country's 40 years of uninterrupted economic growth. Chuan Litpai's government took an IMF loan with unpopular provisions. The populist Thai Rak Thai Party, led by Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, governed from 2001 until 2006. His policies were successful in reducing rural poverty and initiated universal health care in the country. A South Thailand insurgency escalated starting from 2004. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake and tsunami hit the country, mostly in the south. Massive protests against Thaksin, led by the People's Alliance for Democracy, PAD, started in his second term as prime minister, and his tenure ended with a coup d'état in 2006. The junta installed a military government which lasted a year. In 2007, a civilian government led by the Thaksin Allied People's Power Party, PPP, was elected. Another protest led by PAD ended with the dissolution of PPP, and the Democrat Party led a coalition government in its place. The pro-Thaksin United Front for Democracy Against Dictatorship, UDD, protested both in 2009 and in 2010, the latter of which ended with a violent military crackdown causing more than 70 civilian deaths. After the general election of 2011, the populist Pheu Thai Party won a majority and Yingluck Shinawatra, Thaksin's younger sister, became prime minister. The People's Democratic Reform Committee organized another anti-Shinawatra protest after the ruling party proposed an amnesty bill which would benefit Thaksin. Yingluck dissolved parliament and a general election was scheduled, but was invalidated by the Constitutional Court. The crisis ended with another coup d'état in 2014.